Father Myron Effing I nominate, a terrific priest who was ordained by his bishop in 72. Then one day was inspired to start a new community, an order of priests who'd live, work, and pray in unity. He wrote to the Pope, at the time John Paul II, who said, "Father Myron, here's what you should do. Don't start this in America, but hear what I say. Take it to Russia, and I'll give my okay." So like the apostles who traveled in twos, he invited another priest whose help he could use. Father Dan Maurer, he seemed to be free, so they said, "Russia it is. How bad can it be?" They borrowed some money, a few $100s, and landed in Russia in their crisp Roman collars. Did they choose glorious St. Petersburg, the nation's great boast? No, they went to Vladivostok on the far eastern coast. They found an apartment, deluxe it was not, the wiring was bad, the plumbing was shot. The weather was freezing, it made them both shiver, and the food was quite limited, just pancakes and liver. But they'd committed to God before making this trip that they'd stick with the plan, would not let it slip, for the people were broken, they needed these guys, priests who were holy and faithful and wise. For alcohol, atheism, abortion had all created a nation in total free fall. So the priests got to thinking, for here was the catch. How do you start up the faith just from scratch? It seemed no one had even a concept of God. Their lives were a wreck, they'd bought into a fraud. But there were a few older Catholics whose faith was still hidden, who hadn't yet learned it was no longer forbidden. Father Myron said, "Let's start with these folks, the people who remember that religion's no hoax." So they went off to the shacks way out in the boonies, where anyone would think that these priests must be loonies, to trek through the forests where Siberian tigers roam, bringing sacraments to the aged confined to their home. They located these Catholics and also some wannabes and founded 12 parishes to tend to their needs. They started programs for kids to learn Bible stories and choirs to sing hymns of all of God's glories. But that wasn't enough. There were folks who were still lost. So Father Myron hatched a new plan that was incredibly low cost, a course in Christianity that any Russian could get. He put it in their own language and all on the net. But no rest for Father Myron. He wanted to do more. He opened a soup kitchen for the elderly poor. For an orphanage, he got swings where children could play and started up programs we know as AA. He created a pro-life center. People thought it was great. Then he opened some more, and now there are 8. So the priest that I nominate is dear Father Myron. He's humble, he's holy, he's good and untyrant. He accepted God's call to the end of the earth to help Russia witness the Church's rebirth.